This holiday season, celebrate in the middle of everything. From the glistening lights of Galena to the festive magic of Chicago's Magnificent Mile, Illinois has everything on your wish list. Bundle up and meet the reindeer before their big night. Raise a toast in a cozy snow globe. Or get a taste of the North Pole as you sip, shop, and stroll through the Christkindl Market. Start a new tradition and plan your holiday getaway at enjoyillinois.com.
Brews and Banter.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Roman. How are you?
I'm well, and we have Shelley here with us today. We're going to get right in. We're going to quickly mention our sponsor, Big Oyster Brewing Company. We want to thank you guys for sponsoring this podcast with Sixtel. This is a delicious American lager, and that's vodka.
The hard stuff.
Yeah, we're amateurs, so we'll just have beer.
Yeah.
So cheers. Welcome, Shelley.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And I know we got a lot to talk about, so we'll get right into it.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Absolutely.
All right, Shelley, introduce yourself, and let's just start from the beginning.
Okay, so my name is Shelley Hoffman. I was born in 1975, and for the next 50 years, no, I'm kidding. So Shelley Hoffman, I am a resident here in the village of Baldwinsville. I'm a real estate broker, but that's a fairly new thing to me in the last few years. So I'm a mom of 3 kids. They're absolutely amazing, but they're older. And I just really love being involved in what's going on in the community. I was excited for you guys to be part of the community, do your podcast. I've been listening to you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on and give a rundown of what's going on with me and how it relates to what's going on in the community.
When you became a broker, you started off as a salesperson? Mm-hmm. And when did that start?
So in 2016, I went and took the salesperson course. It was in person at the time at the Greater Syracuse Association of Realtors.
I did too.
Did you? Yeah, it's I love the in-person.
Me too.
A lot of people take it online. But one of my instructors, which you know very well, Don Radke, is probably my favorite. And I remember sitting in that class, and Tony Prince, who's with Howard Hanna, sat next to me, and I'm an educator through and through. Like, I love teaching. And I told Tony, I said, one day I'm going to teach this class. And it took 3 years. I couldn't believe I was teaching the salesperson class in 3 years.
Great.
But Don Radke, I use a lot of my quotes that he talked about in my class. So I think part of me loving the industry so much is the education that I got from him and Chris Thielen and some other great brokers that we have in the area.
He was teaching ethics when I took it. Mm-hmm. And my favorite phrase from him, I use it till this day. However. However, that looks good. However, I would recommend you get 2 more quotes.
He said, I use be the source of the source.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yep.
That's better than however, I think. That's more insightful, I think.
Yep.
I like the versatility of however.
Right.
Thank you, Don. Yeah, so you went through that. You became. Who did you work for before? Can you say?
Yeah, so I started with Remax, which is Martin Carpenter. Mm-hmm. He's local. He's an educator as well. He's very involved in the board locally and even through New York State. And I think I was lucky with the mentors and the people that I had at the beginning of my career, because they helped shape me into who I want to be. But honestly, I love real estate. I kind of got into the industry thinking, like a lot of people, that it was flexible hours, that I would have a lot of free time. Because up until 2015, I was pretty much a stay-at-home mom. I would volunteer. I would work for friends to help them out. But when I started going through my divorce and I thought, okay, I need to have an income. I do have a degree from Penn State in secondary education, but I didn't have a master's. So even though I could substitute teacher, I couldn't actually, right? So we had bought quite a few houses, and I was friends with a couple of realtors in the area. They told me that I would be good at it. So it's all the reasons people get into it, where now that I've been in it for 10 years, those aren't the reasons you should probably get into real estate.
Those are the reasons you start.
Yep. Yeah. So, but I did enjoy the class. I enjoy teaching real estate, though, to be honest. Like, I love the transactions, but it's the education through the transactions that I love. First-time home buyers, investors.
Mm-hmm. And every transaction is different.
Oh my goodness!
It's like you never know who your client will be, what they're like, and what kind of obstacles you're going to come across. And it's interesting, and it's got unique script to it, I guess. Like, how do you teach that? You got to teach a fundamental, good foundation, and then the other part, I think, is your people skills, is how you talk to them. But I love that you get involved with that and educate them in transactions.
Well, and it's funny you say the word foundation, because I had just done a talk at a real estate convention talking about building foundations and the people you surround yourself with, right? So like I said, Don Radke, Martin Carpenter, people who will share their knowledge with you for the good of the industry were really who I was connecting with very early on. And I think if I would have started in the industry and been associating with people who are more competitive or more secretive and not willing to collaborate, I would have had a different experience.
Sure.
Start early in the career.
That would be a difficult way to start. I have, friends who in martial arts, and they were students, but now they're instructors and have their own schools, and they have no support from their previous teachers, and it's so sad. But I like your approach. It's good to be involved, just around people who want success for one another.
Right.
And if people around you help each other to be successful, then there's no reason to be competitive or, what's the word? Jealous or you don't want to get stabbed in the back either. Like that kind of behavior, I hate it.
Well, and the community of Baldwinsville really had a lot to do with it. Again, I consider myself extremely lucky. When I first got my license and I was under Martin Carpenter, it was in 2016, and they said, you need to do video, right? But nobody was doing video back then. And Martin wasn't doing video. I don't know if Martin does video yet, but he told me, I like to talk. I have no problem being in front of a camera. And I went to Canada to it was called Video Boot Camp. And 2 gentlemen from RE/MAX were teaching it. And I made some great connections there, came home and started going into different businesses. And I would say, hey, can we promote, like Andy from Apparel Brothers? Tell a little bit about your business, and then I'll talk about the real estate market. That's how I met Renee from Latresse. The person who was going to do it canceled on me. So I put on my big girl pants, and I walked into Latresse, and I said, everyone says you're really nice. Would you,
Show me how nice you are.
Show me how nice you are. And here she had been on stage and stuff. So she was not camera shy. But when I moved up here in 2012, I was very involved in the school and my kids and my friends and Bunko. And I didn't know anything about the village of Baldwinsville, but it very much embraced me when I came into the community. And that's what I love about where we live, or at least, is they were there to support me. They didn't ask for anything back. So most people said, yeah, I'll do a video with you. And whether they ever watched the video or did anything, it didn't matter. But they said, this person wants help. She's trying to promote herself, and we're here to help her. And I just don't know a lot of communities that are like that.
Yeah, we see a lot of support with all these people from Baldwinsville specifically, but even the other people we talk to, it's mostly small business that we all talk to, and there is enough to go around, and it doesn't have to be this sort of any animosity or anything like that. So, and I know you're Beeville dedicated, and you love Beeville, and that's kind of where it started for us. Really the last year or so, but I know this foundation thing we mentioned has sort of led you to some other. I mean, so you're a success now in your realty business, but that's kind of led you to some other things that you can jump from.
Yeah. So the confidence that came from the support of the small community here, I don't have the doubt in myself to go to somewhere like maybe in Camillus or downtown Syracuse, or if I want to teach a course in Cortland, reaching out.
Yep.
Right. But I didn't start in business. Like I said, I had an education degree, so the running a business was more like watching my now my ex-husband, but he was very good at business. He was very good at making money and listening, like the dinner conversations. You don't even know what you're picking up on, right, if you just listen to that. But I started the real estate, like I said, because of the divorce. And so I was at RE/MAX, and then I had a brief stint at 2 other brokerages before I opened up HHC Realty. But the point that I wanted to make about the community is I had walked into Mirror Mirror, and they had a nonprofit that was called Cause to Celebrate, and they were getting donations for the VR house. And so when I asked Stephanie and Heather to talk about Mirror Mirror, and they said, well, can we talk about this Cause to Celebrate instead? I said, absolutely. And once they got done talking about the VR house, there was no way I could then talk about the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, right? That was on Main Street. So that's where Heart, Home, and Community came from. I went from promoting real estate to my videos to promoting the community. And it wasn't until 6 or 7 years later that I opened up HHC Realty that the community piece came back to real estate, like kind of came full circle. So I thought that was kind of cool. But I had a really hard time promoting real estate and community at the same time. I really didn't know how to do it. And it wasn't the community or my friends or my support people telling me not to do it. It was my core, like my moral compass, I guess, that said, how can you promote nonprofits and people starting small businesses and promote yourself at the same time? And it is possible, but honestly, it took about 6 years for me to figure that out.
What was can I ask, what was the challenge? What did you figure out?
So I think that the challenge was that it's okay for me to ask for help or to ask for business. And and I'm not going to lie, by promoting other people, the business did come. Matt Hunt, who has been president of the Chamber of Commerce for a while, announced me one time, like introduced me and said, and Shelley doesn't even say she's in real estate, but she is. And I took a lot of pride in that. That was about 4 years ago because my business was doing well. But I didn't know if that was necessarily from a broker standpoint, now that I own the business, if that's really what I wanted my agents to learn, is that you can't promote yourself. And I think that was just me being scared of that rejection. Like people like me, as a community member that didn't push their business. And I don't want to say I push my business now, but I'm not afraid to talk about my business now. Yeah,
and it's not selfish. I mean, it's what can happen. And Matt's been a great ambassador for Beeville, even us. I mean, we've talked about quite a bit, but it doesn't hurt. It's not a bad thing to try to better yourself.
As a community in this small town, and I love Beeville. I moved here in 2007 from a big city like Boston. So big change, right?
I moved here in 74. Seriously, I mean, I was born in 72.
Yeah.
So I lived.
I thought you were from here.
In 74. I was born in 72.
Oh, so you were not born in Beeville?
No.
Where were you born?
Syracuse, and then we moved to Bridgeport. So I'm still local.
See, all these years we've been together.
Didn't even know.
I'm just lying to you about everything else.
This whole community thing just went out the window.
Let's see what else we can discover.
Yeah, right. You don't want to know. Don't scratch it.
But the small town community are a lot of business owners here who really step up, who show up to meetings, who support one another. And we all support these businesses. So if Jeff Rogers, he's a business owner and he's promoting something and I like what he does, I want to support his business. I'll go and eat at his restaurant. Shelley, you're a realtor and you're doing all these charity events in Beeville and you're supporting everybody. Well, next time I want to buy a house or say my kid wants to buy a house, like, yeah, let's talk to Shelley. Like, that's what the community is like. It's not so much, I don't want to promote myself. You should. And the rejection you'll get from those maybe who are jealous. And I tend to just kind of like, all right, well, I'll weave those people out of my life. I don't need that.
Yeah, the rejection you're getting is probably from someone else that's promoting themselves.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, I haven't really experienced it, but I have also focused a lot of my business on the education piece of it. Mm-hmm. So I teach for the Greater Syracuse Association of Realtors. I serve on the board of directors, and I love that. But those don't necessarily pay the bills, right? That all the volunteering that you do, you still have to have something that actually pays the bills. Mm-hmm. Teaching is a little bit, but you don't get rich teaching, at least not in real estate, Yeah. But I enjoy it, and I love being able to answer the questions. And I, as we were talking about Don Radke, code of ethics and agency are my two favorite topics to talk about because I think they're important and they get overlooked a lot in our industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to keep saying what I do and how I face these things. It's about you today, Shelley. But you do face the ethics issues with other realtors and clients. Mm-hmm. And you kind of need to reel them back. Like, look, don't forget the foundation. or talk to your clients. Like, I really can't do that. And I love that you're teaching that, because I feel like you're saying that is being overlooked often. I'm going to say this, but it's maybe generational. There's less respect for one another, I feel like. As new people coming into this industry, they don't understand this is person to person. This isn't you sitting from the office and communicating through emails and phone calls. You meet with these clients. You constantly meeting at the houses and showing them places. And if you lose ethics in that field, and when you deal with face-to-face clients, you're going to come off as I think, bad realtor or bad in any business.
Well, in life, I mean, it kind of trickles into your own life.
Yeah, you lose the sight of ethics in business or life. It's downhill from there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always say we are very much in a collaborative, competitive industry. Like, we obviously have to compete with each other. There's like 1,800 realtors just in Central New York alone. But your reputation is and that's any industry, right? If you get a bad reputation, it's very hard to overcome it. One bad decision could cost, 3 or 4 transactions, if not years of transaction, because people remember that. I don't know if you know John Adolfi. He just passed away. He is
John mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was. I had transactions with him, but even if I looked at one of his properties and I had questions and I was new and I didn't understand foreclosures, he took the time to explain things to you, right? So we have like these great, I call them like iconic people in our industry. And again, I was lucky. Those were the people that I was connected with very early for whatever reason. I talk about the universe a lot, like lines you up with people that you want to line up with. And so to me that, obviously I feel bad for his wife, who's also a realtor, but just to see that it's like, you're talking about ethic, and there's people that you look at that you're just like, you really look up to them in our industry, because it is easy with so many people who they took the online class, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Like, the state test doesn't have code of ethics in it.
Yeah.
As a realtor, you have the code of ethics. You're going to get me talking education and real estate, and then you're not even going to know why I came on the show. But I love our industry. Absolutely love our industry.
We'll get into it. No, I think it's important. I'm glad that you are continuing to teach that. It's an important part of not just realtors, like Frank said, in any business. You lose your ethics, and it's tough from there.
Well, even like take your show, right? Before we went live, you talked about what you learn about people and helping them share their stories. If you weren't listening to them and you weren't engaged in the story that they had to tell, you wouldn't continue to get guests, right? Your show wouldn't grow. So, I mean, it shows the type of people that you are, just the way that you handle the show and the people that you have on and the people that want to come on your show.
Yeah.
Thank you. My wife always asks, what do you guys talk about for 2-3 hours? I said, once we get talking, it's just interesting,
I would have said, don't you ever watch?
She does.
They choose not to, yeah.
She doesn't.
It's safer that way.
No, she doesn't. And, I sometimes don't have time to listen to our own show. I'm just so busy.
Oh, I told you, I don't listen to myself. So I will listen to this show because it's your show.
Yeah.
But
this is also a good example. Here we are, both realtors from different brokerages, and yet we are at the same table and helping promote you.
There's enough.
Take a lesson for everybody. Take a lesson from here. Like there's no need. Yeah, we all want to succeed. Yes, inventory is tough, but I think if we all work with each other, it's business for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
Especially with the growth that's coming along, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's kind of what I wanted to come on, because yes, I'm a realtor, and I'll be honest, sometimes I said I don't really promote my business that much in the community. There is this balance, because sometimes when I first started doing it, people thought that there was this alternative motive to why I was doing it. There's just really, like, I love the fact, like, even what you guys are doing, but I love when people give their time. Like, they're not watching television for 4 hours at night. They're actually out volunteering. So if you look at my really close friends, like Tina Solomon, Katie Reap, they're giving back to the community. Yep. And I just thought, there's got to be a way, and now we're going back years. There's a lot of ways to showcase them now. But going back like 7 or 8 years ago, there really wasn't. So I would take my cell phone and I would just go to an event, hold my cell phone up like a selfie, and just do a live video. right? And showcase exactly what was going on. And a lot of other people were doing that as well. And that's why I think, with social media becoming more, less about ads and more about community, right?
Sure.
Depending on what you pay attention to. And you have all these community pages. People want to know what's happening. Where do you find out? There's not newspapers anymore. There's not, a lot of people don't watch the news. So it is social media or podcasting, but you choose what you give attention to. So by giving more attention to nonprofits and stuff, I found that my feed was focused more on community and what was going on. And I just was learning and growing.
Right.
But when I was doing the live videos, everything levels up. I mean, I look at the equipment you guys have here for your podcast, and you even said from the time you started till now, you've gotten new equipment. So those selfie videos, they just weren't cutting it anymore if you wanted to elevate, right?
Right.
So then I started doing, it was called StreamYard. And I was doing StreamYard videos. This was pre-COVID. So I was going and talking to people in person using this StreamYard for kind of editing purposes. PAC-B TV started doing something called Ask the Expert. So they asked me if I would host that. So what I found was I was doing Ask the Expert for PAC-B TV, but I lost my pipeline for real estate because even though I wasn't promoting real estate, doing it on my Shelley Hoffman business page was promoting real estate. So I told Cindy Clark, I got to mix it up a little bit, like do a little bit for PAC-B, but also do a little bit for me. Well, then COVID hit. And so PAC-B didn't have a way to stream. They didn't have the equipment at the time. So that was how I started getting to where I was talking to Dick Clark, the mayor, and Bob Wicks, the town supervisor. And I just remember Cindy said, I think you should talk to my brother. Now that's at the mayor at the time, that was brother and sister. And she's like, he doesn't want to do it, but he needs a platform. He needs to get out there.
And he was on a couple times, yeah.
He was on.
More than that.
He was on weekly.
Yep.
Yeah. And he was the last one. I mean, he turns out he really loved it. But if you know Dick Clark, he likes to talk too. So, but then he said that call Mike Leffencheck because the police need to get the message out to somebody. So it was kind of cool to watch this platform that was really just about promoting businesses and stuff to turn into a place for people to get information about what was going on with COVID. But then as I mentioned to you, once COVID started opening up a little bit, I got away from the businesses and I was doing more of like the supervisors and things like that. And that's not me. Like I really love the nonprofits and the community stuff. I love talking to the leaders, but it's not my platform. That makes sense?
Right, yeah.
So,
but you were in a sense giving voice to them then.
Because they needed it.
Yeah,
they didn't have, there was no platform. Now PAC-B has a platform. So again,
Cindy's great, yeah.
Yeah, Cindy's awesome. Yep. So, and then when things opened up again, right? So I got away from the podcasting and the videos because I kind of lost my direction for it. And then about 6 months ago, I was talking to some of my friends. I said, I really want to get back out there and do community stuff. Because of the brokerage that I opened, it really needs to be past just Baldwinsville. And I don't know if you guys are religious or not, but I talked to my parents and I talked to God quite a bit. And I was just like, if there's a way for me to do, and this is what I do all the time, even my car I drive, I'm like, if there's a car I'm supposed to have, right? And then suddenly the Ford Mustang Mach-E
we do the
shows
same
up
thing
on,
with beer. Is there a beer I'm supposed to have?
Yeah. It's like, what should I have? So I was driving my daughter down to college and she was driving. So I was paying attention to my phone because she's 19 and driving on a highway. And there was a text message. Now, normally I would have thought it was spam. But I looked into it, and it's called American Dream TV. And there's other realtors and lenders who actually have been a part of American Dream TV. But I didn't know much about it. I know a woman who I did some IT training with up in Schenectady was on that show. So I paid attention. I wrote back. I listened to what they had. And it's basically like a real estate show. And you can showcase like listings and stuff. But the question I had for them is, does it have to be real estate related? Can I showcase nonprofits? And they said, absolutely.
Perfect.
So that's kind of what I want to talk about here today is I found another way to showcase nonprofits. And there's so many that we have in Central New York that I need to find a way to reach out to more because I know the ones that I know, most of those are locally here in Baldwinsville or they do a lot with Beeville. But I want to get more into Central New York with it. So the first one that I did was Living with Dementia, CNY, and they were doing a fundraiser at the Wood, and Heather's great at the Wood. So they let me do, like, they were my guinea pigs. And I did my first episode there, and it's already on streaming channels. We are going to do a watch party for it. And then the second one I did, there's a nonprofit called Kenwood, and they did a real estate convention at Destiny Mall. And they let me speak, which was awesome. I did like a kind of a segment on building a foundation in real estate. But they also, two of the, I'm going to say they're in their 20s, they sat down and did an interview with me. And that one's going to air sometime in, I think, in January. And then the third one I'm going to do is The Big Chill, which is here in Baldwinsville.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So that's going to be the third episode. So again, related to real estate, related to Baldwinsville, I need to branch out into CNY a little bit. So that's what I'm kind of hoping will happen is just, somebody from Lafayette or somebody from Jamesville or somewhere from Manlius, just kind of start showcasing those. And again, it's not a real estate show. Yes, I'm a realtor. Yes, it's the American Dream was started by realtors, but it's really about showcasing nonprofits. And I feel like what this platform is doing is it's giving me a way to level up with a production company who's putting everything together, as opposed to me with my iPhone talking about it.
And so they have other hosts who have talked about nonprofits, or are you the first one?
So now that I asked that question, and they said absolutely. What I find, as always happens in life, the people that I've connected with through American Dream TV, they're doing things with small businesses and nonprofits.
Yep.
There are awesome ones. I watch their show. They have these amazing listings on the beach out in California, different places across the country, and sometimes they combine it. So sometimes they talk about small business and then they go to the house. So I don't want to say that I will never do that, but right now, really, like the core for me is the nonprofits. So
that's amazing. Thank you for putting so much effort into nonprofits.
And sorry, Rome. So when is the watch party that you mentioned?
It's December 3rd at the Wood. So my dad, he passed away in 2019, and he passed away from congestive heart failure. But like most people, the dementia, it kind of came. And I didn't know at the time. I just knew that he was forgetting a lot. He was calling me my mom's name. So Sheila Olmstrand, who is the co-founder, came to a Rotary meeting. And she said in this meeting, probably everyone in this room has been touched by someone with dementia. And it clicked, right? So December 3rd is actually my dad's birthday.
Oh.
So I just thought I had to pick a date, right? End of November, beginning of December for the watch party. And when I talked to Heather at the Wood, the 3rd was open. Sure. So that's the date that we decided to do it.
Great.
So if you're here locally, go to the Woods.
Or even not locally, just come on in.
Just come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're creating the Facebook event. So there will be a Facebook event. It'll go out tomorrow, I think. Jen, who's my assistant, Jen Roth, she's awesome. She was putting it all together.
Great.
But
Are you familiar with 100 Women Who Care?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do something interesting too, where I think they meet every quarter, every 3 months or so. And what they do is every member donates $100. They raise about $10,000 or so. And there are 2 or 3 nonprofits, maybe more, do their pitch, why they should get the money. But what my wife told me, she's a member, she said, oftentimes those that don't get it, they still donate to them. So like that, the one who won will get the $10,000, but they also donate individually on their own, not through their organization.
To the others.
To the others as well. Yeah.
There's been 2 meetings since I've heard about them, and unfortunately both of the meetings lined up with something else that I had already committed to. But Devin's Rec Room is a nonprofit. I do some leadership stuff with him, and his wife had mentioned it to me, and she had just recently joined. So it's definitely on my list to do. Yeah. And as soon as you said that, I probably would approach them to see if maybe that could be an episode.
Yeah,
if they'd be interested.
Yeah, it's good for networking. It's nice to talk to them, and because there's some who are philanthropists, and there are others who have done well, and that's what they do. They concentrate on helping nonprofits It's nice. I like sometimes my wife will come home and she's like, yeah, it's like so and so. It's so nice to know that they do this. But yeah, great organization, I think.
Well, and the story behind why people start their nonprofit, that's usually one of the first questions I ask.
Yeah.
It's usually it's just such a personal story that, that motivated them to give back, to help, whatever the mission is of the nonprofit.
When I moved here in 2007, I was dating my wife at the time. And so her family was in this association and I got involved. So we finally registered as nonprofits. I'm on board of directors and we do programs for kids education, but also for families and we do like food banks. We feed the hungry. So we do all these different activities throughout the year in Syracuse, picnics and things like that. So it's not until we became like nonprofit and I got more involved in it that I understood how many lives we touch and changes we make. So just as an experience, I wanted to share that what you're doing too is important, and I love that you do that.
Well, I don't know why, but I feel like one of my missions or one of my talents, I guess, is to give a platform for other people to tell their story. Mm-hmm. So as you may get from there, I'm not the best at telling my own story sometimes, but I love listening. And even when I try to tell my own story, I wind up listening more to the other, because you learn more from listening than you do from talking. Yep.
Absolutely.
Right.
And this is limitless with, this program you're starting now and in these nonprofits. It could be any topic, any area, any arena. Like, there's lots to I'm sure be able to pick from, but and you won't be able to get them all.
Well, so it's funny, like American Dream TV, it streams on the streaming platforms like Hulu and stuff. But if you have like an episode that has a ton of views, you could wind up on HGTV or the Travel Channel or something, right? And somebody said, "Is that your goal?" And I'm like, I mean, not necessarily. Mm-hmm. It's just about helping nonprofits who don't have a large voice to give them another platform to tell their story.
And if that happens, fine. If it doesn't,
going to HGTV will help them. Yes, that's what I would like for them.
Yeah. But if it's local, and that's why I said, like, I'm as a realtor, I'm not a realtor typically in Skinny Atlas, right? Like where you have like maybe the more high end homes, and I know some people love to be the luxury listing, and again, I'm not going to know. I don't know where my future is going to go, but I still love the first time home buyers. Mm-hmm. I remember in 2016, I loved helping people get the $79,000 house. Now a $79,000 house,
it's a down payment.
Yeah. Or it's going to be renovated. It's going to be, you have to buy it with cash because it has so many, problems in it here locally in, our market, right where we're sitting. But there's something about helping somebody buy their first home that is just absolutely rewarding. But I think it's the education of it. Well,
that could be your niche. Like the what's the guy, Tom and Ellie, the DWI guy?
Oh, yeah.
You could be like Shelley Hoffman, the first-time home buyer lady. Or like, who's the other guy, like, that does all the Stanley office, does like car accidents or something? He just specializes in car accidents?
You come up with a tagline and I'll use it.
Yeah, okay, we'll figure it out. That'd be perfect because, you're good at it, right? And you like to do it, and people need that. So.
Yeah.
And you like to teach.
Yep.
I love to teach.
My favorite is when I hear how enthusiastic a young person is to become an investor in real estate. I get like excited. I was showing a house and this young guy came to look at it. And I said, "Is this for yourself?" He said, "Yeah, but I'm not going to live in it." I said, "Is this like an investment?" He goes, "Yes, I'm just getting into investment." And I was like, "Man, here's my card. I consult, I help. Let me give you 1 hour, first 2 hours or something for free. I'll at least give you resources."
Yeah.
We had the conversation.
Be the source of the source.
Yes.
We had a conversation. Nice. Well done. We had a conversation after that. Then I didn't hear from him for a few days. Then he calls me back. He goes, "I just want to say thank you. Just that 2-hour conversation, like you helped me so much." I said, "Well, you have my number now. If you need to connect, if you need more help, reach out." But I was just like, I was so excited. I gave him free advice,
Yeah.
and it's not, I wasn't after money. It was more that here's a young person who has this drive, who wants to take these chances and risks like you talked about before. Why not motivate? Why not push that drive? Let him succeed. Let him do well. And then, maybe he'll do the same, like kind of like past.
Integrity and happiness, that's all a form of currency.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it doesn't have to be money, but if you're happy doing it and you're good at doing it and it makes you feel good, then fine.
The real estate convention that they had, the nonprofit Kenwood. So it was SUNY Oswego school, students, but the nonprofit is to give them hands-on experience. So they raise money and they send students to real estate conventions across the country. But this convention, there was, it was very much represented by different brokerages and then just the students. But in the classroom that I was sitting in, a Central Square teacher brought 3 students because they have an entrepreneur class. And what I learned a little bit about Micron. I learned a little bit about different things. But what I took away was the entrepreneur opportunities that are now in high schools and college. Because, again, when I was in school, we took business classes, but it was really like just basic running a business. It wasn't thinking for yourself, thinking outside the box, creating something that doesn't exist yet. And so I thought that was kind of neat. And the teacher reached back out to me and they want me to come talk at the school. So that's, again, I love real estate and I would never give up real estate. But if I can find ways to empower people, kind of like what you were saying, empower them to make a change, to do what they're passionate about in their life. Because there's just too many people that punch the clock and go home and, eat whatever for dinner and watch television. And if that's the life that you want, great. But
that's not the life you want.
Yeah, when I didn't even know that my life was an option. I don't regret my marriage at all. I had a great marriage. I love my kids. But if I was still married, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. I'd be at home probably watching whatever series.
American Dream TV.
Yeah, I probably would. I was watching HGTV. I will tell you, since I got my real estate license, I do not watch the HGTV like flips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was talking to an agent at a different brokerage, and she was at a final walkthrough, and it was not going well. And she just said to me, she's like, "They don't show you this on HGTV." I'm like, "They do not show you that on HGTV."
Sure.
Yeah. When I lived in Boston, I worked for a friend of mine, contracting company. And the house we were working on, few doors down on HGT Extreme Makeover Edition, was happening there. It was 24/7. At night, they have these lights on, and it's like ants, right? So when the show was over and they're done, so the owner knew the guy I worked with, and we got a chance to go in and take a look at it. I would not buy a house.
No, I was going to ask you.
I would not buy a house that was done by HGTV. Everybody is on top of each other. There's no oversight. There's no quality control. Things are hidden with camera angles and things like that. And it's just, it's sad because, they're trying to do something good, but they're so limited. And I wish they didn't have that platform where like we have 2-3 days to remodel an entire house.
So it really is 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they have 24/7. Everyone's working there and they're on top of each other. A flooring puts floors in, and then a trimming guy is right behind him putting trim in, while the electrician's trying to snake wires, while the plumber is carrying a hot water tank, whatever. It's just, it's chaos.
Yeah.
It's what it is. And I didn't like that. It's like you said, they don't show you that on TV.
My daughter, about probably 2 weeks before American Dream TV had reached out, my daughter said, because she has a real estate license, and she said, "Mom, I would never want to be on TV." And I said, "Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be on TV or not. I never really thought about it." But that's what I like about it. So first off, it's only a 5-minute segment. So there's 4 other hosts in a half an hour segment for New York. And then I have the Central New York. So basically the way that American Dream is, like if we were doing one on your podcast, we would be talking and they'd show our faces every once in a while, but then they would be showing B-roll the rest of the time.
Yeah.
With like a voiceover type of thing or some sort of.
Well, it's just us talking.
Yeah,
so whatever we're talking about, and then they edit and they clip it. That to me is real life, real TV. It's not scripted. It's not like I wouldn't want to be on TV where they take what you say and they put it out of context to bring more views in.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
That kind of television. But it was funny when Tay said, I'd never want to be on TV. What about you? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, honey. I never really thought about it. And then, a month later I called her and I said, hey, and again, I don't know how much it's necessarily going to be viewed television wise. The idea is, again, we get the reason it's a partnership is because you have rights to the license. So once it airs, they give you all the footage and you can get all the additional B-roll and put that out there.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something you can do with it after the recording.
Okay.
But I love that. I love the short segment and that it's not scripted. Like it's organic, right? Like the originality of it. Because we talked about when we first started, like, I don't know if I can give you a natural reaction just to something we already practiced. So the fact that the show is doing this and not pre-recording, not feeding what's going to go popular, that's nice. And
Yeah.
are they also on like YouTube and other platforms?
Yeah. So hopefully they won't watch this episode because I should know every place that you can see it, right?
Just say yes.
Yes, we're everywhere. So on my television, I have a Roku TV, and I downloaded the American Dream app. So I
have
watched.
an app. Okay.
Yeah, so I watched even before I did a segment. I just watched a lot of people and how they did it because I was a little bit nervous. And so you can have the first person who came out and recorded made. Kind of like in real estate, how we have video, we have camera people that are real estate related. Well, for this, there's different production companies and they have a contract with American Dream. So American Dream says, okay, Shelley Hoffman wants to do a segment on this day. Who is available? But you have to have a backup plan B. I'm not good with backup plans. Like, so that real estate conference, it was one day. The Big Chill, it's one day.
Sure.
So hopefully I never need a plan B.
Right.
Maybe you guys will be my plan B. I'm gonna have you guys be my plan B,
Last
right?
minute, you guys free?
Isn't Plan B like a pregnancy thing?
Yeah, it is. I thought about that after I said that. Yeah.
Sure, we'll do that for you. We're team
You
players.
guys are the best.
Team players.
I'm in.
Yeah, but we'll help anything we can also,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I just think it's just another medium, right? It's a way of getting information out there. And I don't, again, how much time do you guys put into the podcast? Right. Plus you're a realtor, plus you have other things going on, right? That was my problem. Like I wanted to do it. Like the drive to me to do videos on nonprofits or small business was so strong. But again, I just didn't have the time. So, I know that we were talking before we went live that there's always like kind of criticism, like, people, whether it's jealousy, whether it's whatever the motive is to be negative. I'm very honest. I was talking to Tom Terry from Move Realty, great guy. And I told him, I said, I'm partnered with, it's a marketing thing. Everything that we do is a marketing thing, So, I can hear in my head when I was signing up for it, people saying, well, she pays for that. And I want to be like, can I swear? Because I want to be like, no shit, I pay for that, right? Yep. I'm not a swearer, but I'm like, no shit, I pay for that. I mean, you pay for all the marketing that you do. I'd been paying for it if I did it myself. So I think it's great that American Dream says, hey, we'll partner with you. We need a show. We need people to host the show. You want to, showcase whether it's yourself, whether it's homes, whether it's your community, whatever it is you want to showcase. And we're going to team up with you to do that. And I'm absolutely like honored to be a part of it, to be honest.
That's great.
And it's nice that, like you said, you re-record it. You just provide the content and they have the team to do all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about that. And they give you the rights to the content. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. I haven't done anything with it yet, I'll be honest. Yeah. So I appreciate our conversation after this.
Yes.
But I did a video today at Mercer Park. And I talked about the first episode that I recorded and that it's now live, the second one that I recorded last week, and then the one that's coming up for the Big Chill. And I did ask the chamber if they cared if I did it. And I have had no resistance for doing any type of recording or anything. So
That's great.
Yeah, the chamber specifically is very, very easy to work with. And any these other ones we talked about, Kiwanis and Rotary, things like that. So that's the nice thing about our community.
Yeah, Well, and I don't know if I said this or not, but I am a Rotarian, so they didn't have a choice.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah. Good.
You didn't say that.
I didn't say that, yeah.
But it noted.
Noted.
Plan B and Rotarian.
That's right.
I love, I've said this before too, I love Baldwinsville, or like we say Beeville. There's a show called Virgin River. You familiar?
No,
I'm gonna get so much shit about this, but
You're gonna cry. He's gonna get teary-eyed.
no, it's this like a Hallmark show I watch with my wife.
I got this for you, Roman.
And
I don't want it back. You keep it out.
so it kind of reminds me of this like little Hallmark show. The Beeville is like that. That gives me that vibe. I talked to a friend of ours, Michael, who is like a videographer. He does edits, and we're trying to put together like a script of like a plan of how to record and do like almost like a marketing video of Baldwinsville. Very cinematic with the voiceover and things like that. Maybe interview some local people and kind of add that into it. Long project. It just gives me a lot of ideas and views. There's a sunset and I'm driving over the bridge and I'm like, man, that's a perfect shot right there. And I'm always on the road, not just because of real estate, but the construction business, all that stuff. I'm always on the road. And my wife jokes, she's like, why are you the only one who like always in these weird situations when you're driving? I said, because I drive a lot. My truck has 230,000 miles. It's just, and yeah, like I see these moments, I see these people, kids maybe playing in the playground. I'm like, what a nice highlight right there. And just want to show people, like show the world how nice this town is.
it is. During, so again, very not professional at all. But Angela, who at the time was in Fashion Rescue, but now she has the 315 Hive over in Kimbrook.
Yep.
But we put together, she asked me, it was her idea. She asked me because I was I was the only one close to doing anything with streaming at the time here locally. And we had different business owners make a Be Strong video and say what they like about Baldwinsville. And we ran that.
I remember that. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yep.
And it was just this really great, and again, it was the collaboration. And that's what I love about our community. And again, it's probably other places. I only know what I know. But whether you're a shop, a restaurant, a small business, the collaboration, like everybody seems to, like you said earlier, Frank, everybody has room to help other people.
Yep.
A podcast.
A podcast, yes.
Just
Yes. Well,
I couldn't resist.
The beauty of the podcast is that you can be anywhere in the, like you said before we got on, the listeners you have are not just Baldwinsville. They're not just New York. They're everywhere,
And this whole operation we can take remote. We have everything that can go up. So we've gone to New Orleans. We've gone to Delaware. We can take the whole thing on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like if there are people who want to collaborate, we support. The segment we told you about, empowering women in male-dominated industries. We just started this, and we also try to support, military, veterans. We try to support
First responders, and
like U.S. made, companies that manufacture things here in U.S. So all these people that want to collaborate will make a trip if we can. Obviously, it has to make sense. Like, I can't be spending $10,000 just to go record a video. That then I got to find out how to recoup those expenses. But reasonably, we can travel and record and make a content out of it. But we need the collaboration.
Do you ever do like the hybrid type of a video, so you wouldn't have to travel to the person?
we do Zoom, and we've used StreamYard before.
Yeah, I was going to say, because then it would be like the $10,000. It would be sitting
right,
there and then.
right. But there's collaborations. Let's say, for example, the girl we talked to, I told you about. She was invited by Keen Company, the boots company, right? And funny that day I was wearing Keens. But if they called us and said, hey, we want to do a collaboration, would you guys come? We'll record, do a tour of the factory, and then we can do maybe a sit down and talk. Yeah, that's when we'll pack our things and go over. I love Pelican cases. I don't know if you're familiar with it. They're very rugged. I got tired of my luggage constantly being destroyed by airports. So I bought these Pelican, they call it Pelican Air. They're specifically designed for carry-on size, for your check-in luggage. And those get beat the crap out of. Like, they have scars beyond like international scars. And it survives, and it's got lifetime warranty. They're made in US. So if like Pelican reached out, we'll make a trip out to Massachusetts. So stuff like that. Those are the kind of collaborations I'm talking about. As far as guests go, we have quite a bit of guests that have done remote through like Zoom or, StreamYard.
Have we done anybody overseas yet?
Guest overseas.
I mean, we have a huge amount of people that watch us in the UK.
Really?
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe
I
it's
think
like all the
it's the
slang.
beards.
Probably, yeah. Probably like, why don't those guys?
I'm all
you guys
gray
gotta check
now.
this out. They don't look anything like that.
Our youth years.
But yeah, we do a lot of overseas stuff like that we have
I
followers.
did learn that our podcasts, if you're listening, I believe through Spotify, and you're in a country that is not English spoken, the podcast automatically gets translated to that language.
Oh, really?
Which is nice. And that's only, with AI, only recent.
Oh, that's true.
That's gotta be like a weird watching one of those foreign movies.
I
where
wanna
words
see
are
him-
off, like
Yeah. I want to see myself, speaking in like French or something.
I want to see him put us in their attire, like whatever they would wear over there. I want to wear that.
like where?
I don't know, like that. Yeah, maybe dressed like kings or something. I don't know, or like maybe Egypt or something. I don't know.
Vikings.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Wearing that attire.
Yeah, whatever. In some places maybe there's no attire. I don't know.
I'm not watching that one, Frank. No, I'm not watching
either.
that one. No.
That's a pixelated episode.
There's a lot of blurred lines. Yeah. Yep.
It's like naked and what is it?
Naked and afraid to watch us. This was naked and afraid to watch us.
I almost said naked and survive or something.
Yeah, well, fine. That too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think we had anybody internationally, but yeah, we do those kind of guests where they're remote and we can't always be present. But yeah.
I was going to say as you grow, I mean, again, you said 3 years you've been doing this, right?
Yep.
So my guess would be in the next few years, I'll look for you to be, overseas, and I'll see what you're wearing.
Yeah. I'll warn you first.
Yeah, thanks.
It might just be a loincloth. Can't make any promises. But it's, and again, we started off this way, same as you. It's just, we were just kind of hanging out, having fun.
Yeah.
And then it turned into something more than that. And I mean, here's where we are now, but all this stuff you mentioned, but it was just something fun that was a passion. I mean, and it's still fun and it's still a passion. It's just a little more expensive.
And we have the same drive, is to support others and help people around us to be successful. And this platform gave us opportunity to give people around us voice, exposure, and maybe that's our way of kind of contributing to the community.
I do think that when you're willing to give back and you're making it about them as opposed to making it about yourself, it tends to go farther, right? Because it's authentic and people can tell that it's coming from a place of caring and giving as opposed to self-serving.
Also, listen
Agreed,
and pay attention and acknowledge. I feel like there's sometimes I'm in a conversation with somebody and the acknowledgement is not there. And it's like, did it go in one ear and come out the other? Like, where are we? Are your thoughts somewhere else now? Like, am I not important enough to you? Like, to pay attention to me for 2 minutes?
They might just be they're thinking of the next thing they have to say, which used to bother me, but now I wonder sometimes if it's like an insecurity in them because they're afraid they're going to look dumb. They're afraid they're not going to know what to say. But if you're not listening, it comes across as being so. When I first got into real estate, I struggled, right? Because I was trying to make sure that I was hitting that I covered everything in agency, that I covered everything in fair housing, that I didn't miss like the foundation wall that was being covered. The huge crack was covered with totes. You know what I mean? Right. And so I wasn't connecting with the people, right? Because that's part of being in real estate is connecting with your clients and learning what they're really looking for. Not everybody wants the investment. Not everybody, has the same goals and the same outcome. And I found that I really enjoy real estate more once it became more natural. Right. So same thing with podcasting.
Yeah, like as more knowledgeable you become in the field, the less you need to have those backup thoughts, and more you can pay attention to the person and then respond like as needed.
And also not being afraid to call and say, hey, I forgot to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because, your podcast, you can't go back. You can't go, hold on, we got to go back on air for a minute. Right? Yeah. But in real estate, you can call and say, hey, I forgot to mention, or, did we
And I'm sure it's
this,
appreciated.
Yeah.
And say, I don't know. Why is that so difficult for people to say, I don't know?
But I will give you
what?
the
I
answer.
don't know.
Right.
But I'll find out, and I'd like to know myself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something about maybe ego or I find people just not being able to admit they don't know something and afraid to admit they were wrong about something.
Yeah. The first few podcasts I did, it was the same thing. Like I wasn't able to listen as much because I was more concerned about what was I saying, what was I going to ask next, or what was I going to do. So the flow of it wasn't there. So going back to the ever-changing and evolving podcast that I have, it's just I've now taken the approach of I'm there to learn about them. And when it's natural curiosity, the questions just kind of flow out. And luckily, I haven't had a guest that I didn't enjoy learning about, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys had that? Like where somebody's on, you're like, oh my gosh, is this person ever going to stop?
No, I don't.
Not kind of.
Yeah. But that's kind of why we did this together, because it would be very difficult, I think, for both of us to do it individually.
We haven't had
We've only had one person we didn't want to do, that flat earth guy.
One person we had to turn down.
Oh, well, it wasn't me, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you for not turning us down.
He wanted to have a debate about flat Earth, and I said, Frank, this is going to just turn into an argument.
His whole platform is just that. Like he wants you to say that it's not flat, so he can argue with you about it.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, how many beers and exhausting is this going to be? You know?
And I watched his stuff, and I said to myself, I can see this being an argument between him and I, back and forth, because a lot of his information is not backed by research or anything like that. It's just like, well, see, this is happening. How do you explain that? You don't have an explanation. So it's like, no, that's
that's the only. So it wasn't even.
Now I have an explanation, but it's going to go back and forth.
Yeah, and everybody else has been fine. We don't really.
Yeah.
There's really been nobody where
hope you're having fun.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, again, when we started, you're like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, oh, I have no idea. But I said I did want to get out about American Dream, but same as you, like talking to me, being a realtor opened the door to so many other things that we can do.
What a great career! Like
it is.
It's just like it teaches you people skills, right? Like opens opportunities into different things.
Running a business.
Just the people you meet, all different, areas of work. You're exposed to that with people and interesting people, maybe people that are even the non-interesting people are interesting. Like that person,
sometimes like
they're more interesting than I thought they were.
Right.
Yeah. But it also you kind of nailed the. I'm going to say it wrong. Hit the nail on the head in the fact of we're both realtors. I do have like a podcast, but. A, there's enough for everybody, and two, we're a little bit different. So in learning, like you gave me a platform to talk about what I want to do and my next chapter is, and I don't really know where it's going to go, but you guys were open enough to saying, hey, let's have a conversation, and through the conversation, it gave me more clarity also, and where I want it to go. I think you learn what you don't want to do just as much as you learn about what you want to do. And
you mentioned earlier about people not being afraid to take that chance. When it started with your realty business, but then. Kind of where you are now, it's okay to make a leap and make that decision, and probably you regret if you don't. Yeah,
well, and a lot of the clients I work with in real estate, I don't know if you find that you have like the repeat type of clients over and over again that you're helping them with different things, but it's a personal connection, and that's kind of what I want. My life to kind of go towards when I talk about speaking and workshops is I have I'm creating this book. Hopefully it'll come out in like February or something, but it's not a book like you would read. It's a workbook. And it's basically saying, okay, this is what I did. And then there's a section for you to say, for the other person to say, what would that goal for me look like? And then this is what I did. And this is a struggle that I had. And what would that look like? So on my next agenda things that I like to do, kind of like you said, you have multiple things that you do, is I want to find places to go and just small groups and work with them and show them. So in the real estate convention, there was a woman who just started going through a divorce and she got a real estate license. And she teared up in the class because she doesn't know what direction she's going. And my purpose is that's okay. You don't really have to know. You just, what's your step that you're taking today? And then what's the step that you're taking tomorrow? And did you have to take 3 steps back and have a sad day? Okay, that's fine too. So I kind of fought that being something that I did feel like God was putting me in a position to have that conversation with people. And I thought, well, I don't need to empower women. Women are people, men, women, anybody. But But I would say I've probably been more receptive in the last 6 months to a year that I keep coming across people who are in their mid-40s who went through what I went through in my mid-40s. And they're having conversations with me. Well, how did you get there? And it made me stop and reflect, how did I get there? Because I was just living one day at a time and crossing my fingers that it all worked out. So I've done a lot of reflecting. And so the American Dream and the podcast, to your point, that's my fun, like connecting with people. But the reflection of, actually sitting in the pain of what I went through to get to where I am and what were the steps and the mentors and the people that helped me get there. And that it's being open to talk to people about what you're going through will get you farther than holding it in and being afraid to admit that maybe you made a mistake or maybe you failed or maybe like all that negative stuff. Because there's people out there going through the exact same thing you are.
Yep.
I had a conversation with my son about this, and he asked me this question. He said, how did we as a humanity advance so far where we have like planes are flying? Like, how do we even find that out, right? And to me, it was like a life lesson at that moment. I said, well, we've learned through failures. We didn't build the first airplane and it was success. It crashed and we learned from that crash, and then another version was built. Something has failed. So we learned through failures. I don't think failure is so terrible. Yeah, there might be sadness in failure. And I won't say failure.
Well, there's experiences and there's
you failed at something or something unfortunate happened in your life is part of a journey of learning from it and becoming better and becoming stronger mentally. I've heard this quote recently. You struggle more in your imagination than reality. Where we create this imaginary situation and we struggle in it, but in reality, it's okay.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking of those things and you're beating yourself up, just remember that those are just your thoughts and your personality is combating itself. And then in reality, in real world, it's okay.
Well, it's like self-preservation, right? Like you're like in your head, in your mind, you're like, what's the worst that can happen? So now, and I don't know if you guys do this or not, but I tell myself what the worst thing could be.
Right.
And then I'm like, well, if that's the worst thing and I still get out of bed tomorrow, then it's fine. But there's sometimes where I'm like, the worst thing is like, I'm just not going to leave the house today. that seems kind of bad.
It's all perspective, right?
And that's your solution.
Yeah. Like today I'm not leaving.
Snow day, but it's 80. Snow day.
It's snow day. I'll deal with that tomorrow. Yeah. No, it is. And even like the conversations we have to have in real estate or in business, it's like, it's not going to be a great conversation, but a lot of the good coaches and mentors say do the hardest part of your day first. Just get it out of the way. And I think that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. I try, but usually I like to start my day like with something positive or good, like a really good cup of coffee.
Right.
And then focus in something else. But I do appreciate the opportunity to kind of talk with you guys and be a part of the podcast.
Absolutely.
And again, like there's just something about talking to people, getting information out there. I think it's huge. One of the last things I'll say is you would ask me when I bought the building that I love. I bought it in 2019. And when I bought that building, I did not have a lot of money. My divorce wasn't finalized yet. But I was taking my broker course over at the GSAR. And Fran Carroll was the instructor. Little short lady. I don't know if you had Fran or not.
No.
She was awesome. I might have been one of the last classes, but it was commercial investing class. And I just walked up to Fran at lunch and I said, I really want to buy this building. And she said, tell me about it. And I told her about it. And she gave me some suggestions. She told me, about seller financing, things that I didn't know about. And I called the building owner and we came to an agreement on how I could buy the building. If I wouldn't have went to Fran and said, I wish I could, and had that conversation, I wouldn't have bought the building that holds my brokerage, that, it's really my retirement plan is the building.
And it's a great space. It's beautiful, by the way. The whole layout and everything,
Yeah.
Very
well,
nice.
And I put a lot of, my kids say I love it more than them. I don't know if that's true, but I do like it.
You could put them in there and then you just love it all. Just like,
well, they were like, which one of us gets it when you die? And I'm like, first off, I'm not dying.
Yeah,
so,
that's nice.
but they but it was that conversation. It was that question, And I think that prior to going through real estate, I would have never asked somebody because I would have thought she's going to tell me I'm broke. She's going to tell me there's no way. Like, I don't want to let her know that I'm not making that much money right now in real estate because I was still building my brand and my business, right? So it's just it's the fear that I think holds people back. And I don't know how you get rid of the fear other than having conversations and aligning yourself with people who have been there, done that, and allow them to mentor you, coach you, or teach you to level up. And that's kind of what I've surrounded myself with is teachers, coaches, and mentors that help me level up.
Yeah. I think what our fear is being built off of is not knowing. So lack of knowledge in something. As a new realtor, first transaction, I'm freaking out. I'm like, where am I going to make a mistake? What if they ask me a question that I don't know something? And, I just remember Don's voice, just say, you don't know, you'll find out. So I think fear and not knowing, and just by talking to somebody who's willing to help and guide you through it. I took that, and anytime I talk to my investors who know very well how to make money, I pay attention a lot. Sometimes they're talking among themselves. I'm just sitting there. I'm listening. I'm taking mental notes. I'm like, oh, and there's all these aha moments like, that's how you do it. Okay. So you'll be surprised. And that's what I love about talking to people. The COVID was so difficult. It's just like, how do we not interact? Like, we need to talk to people. We need to talk to each other, learn about each other, help each other out. And that's a community.
But the fear of the negative, could make you miss out on what you have as a positive. As far as ownership goes, how am I going to buy this house? Okay, so you're doubting yourself whether or not you can buy this house or you can afford this house. But then once you get this house and you're living in the house, how happy are you that you have it?
Yeah. A lot of people, the hardest part for them is getting the pre-approval because they're so afraid they're going to get denied that they won't even ask about the pre-approval.
Yep.
They want to talk to us first as realtors. And really, we can talk to you about buying the house. But until you know what you want to spend and where your comfortability is and your buying power, we can't really help you. But it's being told they can't afford it. That's a big fear I find in first-time home buyers. And when they're told that they can, like this, I've never seen a bigger smile,
Right.
And there are times obviously where they say, right now it's, we can't pre-approve you, but here's what you need to do. And there's I can count on both my hands the numbers of times somebody called me a year later, and I was just happy that I was at least part of the process from the beginning, because I'm sure there's people that I've talked to that were too embarrassed to come back to me. And they got pre-approved and they bought with somebody else possibly. But I know at least 9 or 10 people that a year later they called me and said, okay, now I'm ready.
Sure.
And that was in 2016 through 19 when, you could get a house in our community for, under $100,000.
Right.
But
Yep.
I did like it.
Yeah. We'll talk later about the changes. But Shelley, anything else?
No, I really appreciate, like I said, I know we kind of scattered, which is what I do, around a little bit, but I appreciate the opportunity. I really want to start pushing out that American Dream TV to the nonprofits and showcasing. I do, when it lines up appropriately, I do want to see about sponsors for like the watch parties and stuff, but I want it to make sense, so for like, the one about the real estate convention, I talked to Pathfinder Bank because they were at the convention, right? So it makes sense. So as I talk to nonprofits, the next thing that in the back of my mind, or if you guys are thinking, if I'm doing a show or somebody's listening, what aligns with that nonprofit as far as additional help, not so much for the marketing piece of it, but additional help.
Sure.
For the Living with Dementia CNY, I'm kind of late to the party, but I am talking to a couple people that do life estates and mental health to see, if they want to be a part of it. But again, a lot of this is happening spur of the moment, and I'm just building on it. But I'm just super excited about the opportunity to do this American Dream TV and see where it goes.
Well, we're excited for you.
And congratulations for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. And thanks for letting me come on the podcast today. This was exciting.
When
Now I got to think of other reasons I want to come on. So
whenever you want, you're welcome anytime.
Book is out, you can come back. Or we do segment where we do podcasts with friends.
Okay.
Come join us, have a drink, and we'll just talk about Anything.
Anything you want.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a great podcast and
Thank you.
very well respected in the community. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you grow over another 3, 5, 10 years.
And we'll do it with you.
Alongside with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Want to say thank you to all the followers, the listeners. Our sponsor for this episode, Big Oyster Brewing Company, and
Hopped Up Network.
Hopped Up Network. And till next time.
Yep. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex Lotion Tissues. You can't predict sick days, but with Kleenex Lotion Tissues, you can be better prepared for them while helping keep your skin healthy. Whether it's a surprise sneeze or a stuffy nose, it's always good to have something gentle on hand. Kleenex Lotion Tissues moisturize to help prevent skin irritation while you're battling those unwanted cold and flu symptoms. It's extra care when you need it most. I mean, why not have one less thing to worry about when you're not feeling your best? For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.